Coming at you live from DNHQ in beautiful South Pasadena, California. This is Blue Heaven Podcast. Quite possibly, quite likely, the last time we do this together in the same room live for a little while. But what's going on, Dodgers Nation? My name is Clint. You can find me as Real FRG on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah, we should probably clarify. We're not getting fired or anything. The world is just shutting down again. So
that's not what I heard.
Yeah, well, you know, rumors fly. Guys, my name is Brooke. You can find me at BrookeMe3 on Twitter and Instagram. On today's show, you know, it's off-season mode. We got a lot to throw at you guys. We got a lot of news to throw at you guys. So We're just going to blast you in the face with a bunch of news, all the things that you need to know from around we'll say around the league, but mostly around your Dodgers for this week. We got a lot to throw at you.
Of course, we got to talk a little bit about our friend, our fan favorite, I don't know if you want to call him the mayor of Dodger Stadium, but we all pray for our good friend, Mr. Tom Lasorda. We'll talk a little bit about what's going on there and what updates there may be, of which there are a few right now. We're also going to announce the winner of our Elite Sports giveaway, what are we giving away? Cody Bellinger's ball? Belly ball.
So much stuff to give away. We just can't keep track of it.
And the new giveaway, what we're giving away this week for the next 7 days or so. Plus, we're bringing back I can't call it an old favorite, but it's an old favorite of mine. I call it an FRGM. I'm going to play GM, and this guy over here, BrookeMe3, is going to throw a bunch of ideas, I guess we'll say.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Something like that.
Hypotheticals, whatever.
Hypotheticals. I'm gonna play GM for this offseason and see what happens. Before we get into all that, we got to remind you this is a podcast. So if you can go and subscribe, whatever, rate it on the spots you can rate podcasts, that'd mean a lot to us. Preferably, a high star review, because I'm a 5-star man. Thank you. Also,
that was really good.
Subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit that notification bell. We would very much appreciate that if you are watching this live on YouTube. Juice is in the stream. Says, hey, Beardman. Beardman.
Guys, don't forget this is a live stream. Make sure you check in. Let us know where you're repping tonight, because we want to shout you out. We want to hear from you guys. We want to know where you're checking in from. Mr. Richard Hooker checking in from the 661 Lancaster. I don't remember which area code that is, but methinks it's like either Lancaster, Pennsylvania or Lancaster, Illinois. Yeah. Those are my two guesses. I always forget. Richard, remind us, please.
It's Lancaster.
Yeah, that place.
It's like Palmdale, but not Palmdale.
No, not that one. That's the bad one. Leslie says, hi, boys. Happy Monday. Leslie, good to see ya. Checking in from the middle of California somewheres.
We got Josh coming in from Phoenix. We got Steve May on Facebook, 818 checking in. Alva on Facebook from Fresno. Roach is saying re-sign Paco Rodriguez or riot. Sir. This is a fine show. This is a fine program. We got Michael all the way from New York staying up late to hang out on the East Coast with us. Jose Rod checking in from not 90210, but 9267647.
That's a lot. Jay over in Periscope checking in from Riverside.
Oh, the Riv.
Shouts to the Riv.
Tell Austin Barnes to return my DM. I'd appreciate that. Patrick says we better sign Justin Turner. We'll get into that, I'm assuming. Maybe. I don't know what the questions, what the scenarios are as part of FRGM. I don't know what GM moves I'm going to have to do.
It's a surprise. I have to drop it on you.
James Harden turned down $50 million a year. Do I GM that? That sounds like a good deal for the team.
For whom?
For the team, because
it's a good thing he turned it down. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, SOB. We also made sure Angie said she was first, and I love that she was first. But then she realized she was not first. So good on you, Angie, for being honest.
She was first on YouTube.
Yeah.
Does that count?
That counts.
Yeah, you did a good job over there.
Give you that. All right, let's dig into some things right now. I'm calling News Blast. I was looking around. I can't find that specific sound effect.
That's what you were doing
on YouTube.
We can just do it.
I mean, we usually do that, but now we're upscale. We're sponsored by Jim Beam bottles. Like, we should be. Yeah, we're gonna have to record that.
Not by Jim Beam, just by the bottles themselves.
So all the latest news and rumors and things surrounding your Los Angeles Dodgers in some way, shape, or form. It's not all exclusive to the Dodgers. Of course, we got some things going on around baseball. Somewhat linked to the Dodgers, but first off, right off the top, we got to talk about Tommy. So Lasorda was something that we had heard about probably, I don't know, a little less than a week before it got out. Thank you, TMZ, for being yourself. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely a strong concern for Tommy. we're sending all of our love to Tommy, all of our prayers, whatever works, to Mr. Tom Lasorda. If anybody, that was one of the things we've talked about internally. It's like, if anybody can get through anything, it's Tommy. Because he's just...
The man has defeated and defied all physics and laws of gravity so far. And Father Time is undefeated, but Tommy's finding a way to put up a couple good rounds with that guy. Because the last time I saw Tommy, I thought to myself, he might not make it out of spring training. And then he made it through 3 more spring trainings. So with that being said, if anybody can beat this thing, if anybody can overcome something like time, it's Tommy Lasorda. He just cussed it out and scared it off a little bit for a couple years.
Yeah, Tommy is, of course, in the hospital. He's hospitalized with a heart condition. I guess as of now, he's in ICU, but he is stable and resting comfortably. I don't know how much that helps somebody, or still the fact that he's in the ICU kind of does make you feel worried, concerned. There is some solace we can all take in whatever happens. At least Tom got to see the 2020 World Series. He was there, I believe he was there at Game 6. They had him there up there with Honeycutt and all that. So again, you hope for the best, but if things don't go the way we want, I mean, you could not have lived a more full life than Thomas Charles Lasorda.
The man is a legend. I mean, the man is a legend himself. You hope he gets better. You hope he's doing well after he, gets out of the hospital, gets to be at games, sleeping in the front row next season. I hope that we get that situation from him, because I love me some sleeping Tommy in the front row. But regardless, what a man, what a career.
Whatever you believe, just, bless up, say a prayer for Tommy. Hopefully he finds a way to make it out and see what's good in 2021, because, man, I think that's what a lot of us are waiting for, is 2021. Another
22, whatever.
We're gonna wait that long. All right,
I'm just waiting for something good. Well, we got a World Series. I'll take it.
Yeah, that's a nice thing. Not too far removed from a World Series. Is that not good enough for you?
Nothing's good enough for me.
Very proud.
I've never been happy except for that one day.
So I don't know how you. I know you took the news not as an asshole, but Kim Ng was hired by the Miami Marlins. Where is it? Great move for Derek Jeter. I think right away, Dave Roberts said that Derek Jeter became his new favorite baseball executive, and this isn't one of those just like show hires or whatever. Kim has put in the work in this league, in baseball. She is a lifer. She's as much of a lifer as somebody like Ned Coletti when he got the Dodger GM job, if not more. She has done everything in the game. She is overqualified for the position that she got, and I think she's going to kill it. The thing for me, I know young bucks like this guy and some of y'all are probably new to this world. You're 15 years, somewhere in there. But man, just hearing Kim Ng, you get that like throwback Thursday vibes right away. And you saw a lot of the old school, long time running Dodger bloggers and people that have since moved on to bigger and better things. Shout out one of my favorites, Mike Petriello. Bless Mike Scioscia's tragic illness, but. You remember looking back at the Dodgers almost hiring Kim as their GM before Ned Coletti.
Right.
And we don't know what the move would have done. I mean, we know eventually a lot of Ned's moves eventually became a World Series team. It took a hell of a long time, 2006 to 2020.
Yeah.
A lot of that team was there. Some of that team was kind of built by Dan Evans, former Dodger GM. But I don't know. There's a lot of reminiscing, a lot of moments, a lot of good for her. This is great. Good for the game. But yeah, I guess there was just a lot of throwback, like, man, finally, also at the same time. And the people, the outpouring that has come from baseball, not even baseball sources, it's cool to see.
It is, yeah. I like the support for it. I like what I've seen from it. A lot of people have said it's probably 15 years past due, maybe 20 years past due, and that's for sure it is. Anybody with her type of experience would probably have gotten the job a lot earlier, but nevertheless, she gets a lot of she gets a lot of historical benchmarks along with her hiring. She gets, the first female in Major League Baseball history to be hired on as an official general manager, the first Asian American to be hired on as an official general manager for Major League Baseball. Thought to have been the first general manager in American male professional sports, which is a mouthful if you think about it, but there's a lot of random male American professional sports that are also not even around anymore. So you think about that, you think about all the things that come with it. It's late. We know we're late to the game. Baseball's late to the game. Sports are late to the game. But you know what? She's got it. I think she's going to do a great job down in Miami. I saw someone said it feels like Miami's kind of a step down, honestly.
Cool Whip special.
I get that. I understand it's Miami, not the best place to be, but also the fact that you get to be a general manager in any position. And also on top of that, she gets to inherit a lot of really good young talent in Miami. The first playoff appearance since 2003 when they won the World Series. And that wasn't really a hoax. That wasn't really a part of their 60-game season hoax because they didn't have players for half of the season and they still found a way to make the playoffs.
She also inherits the MLB or the National League's Manager of the Year in crybaby Don Mattingly.
Dodgers legend John Mattingly. Yeah. So I think she's going to do a great job down there. I'm happy for her. I think I don't like Derek Jeter as a person or a human, but I think what he did that was the single best move of his Marlins career.
Yeah. I mean, when he showed up there, he just fired everybody or whatever. But
he took the statue out.
That's a good move.
Yeah, I'm down with that. Yeah.
All right. So 2 good moves in his tenure. I don't know if Sixto was acquired or signed during his tenure. If so, that's a good thing. So evening the ledger, Derek Jeter, MLB smashing ass legend. Derek Jeter.
That's what he's known for.
Let's dig into a few comments before we get along the way. Santiago, our boy Santiago, says Brooke doesn't seem that convinced that Ned had his fingerprints on this championship team. Were you giving some looks? You shooting some vibes?
It's not that I don't like Ned or anything like that. I just think that Ned was.
Where did that even start?
Ned was like shooting fish in a barrel. That's what his job was when he was GM.
Do you know who? Dude, they didn't even know if they were gonna make payroll during that time.
I know it was
payroll or haircuts for Jamie McCourt.
Number one, it was a very complicated time to be a GM or employee of the Dodgers for that matter. Yeah. Number two, not always 100% convinced that Ned was there all mentally for every part of his tenure as the GM. But with that being said, did make some really good signings. He did make some not
Except
good
Andrew
signings. Really not good signings. There are some things that you can look back on and say like, wow, you blew that one.
He did what he could.
He did what he could. Let's give him that. You're going to look back on Andrew Friedman's tenure, and I think people forget Andrew Friedman wasn't really the GM for a long time. We don't actually have a general manager.
Yeah,
that's another thing to remember. We don't have a general manager.
We had a few years of Farhan, and
then he was like, "I'm out," and then Andrew Friedman was like, "All right, well, we're not going to have a GM," and everybody was like, "Wait, what?"
Yep.
So we're one of the few teams in Major League Baseball that doesn't have a GM right now, and I don't think that's changing. I think we're keeping that up. Sounds like it.
Yeah, that's still the plan.
Unless you want to be GM,
you're going to be GM later. This is my,
this
is my what are we calling that? Audition.
Juice Neos on YouTube says Juan Pierre and Uribe were not key signings. Juan Pierre was a key signing.
Sorry, I'm distracted. I'm pretty sure there's somebody knocking at the door.
No, that's all right. Just don't pay attention to them. We're busy.
It's weird because we have a glass door and there's like all this glass you can see through. It's very weird. It's very peculiar. I mean, hey, you know what? Ned Coletti's friend Juan Pierre played a role in moving his ass to the bench when we finally got Manny Ramirez. So good moves. Friend of the show. All those people. Katie wants Kim to do absolutely amazing things with the Marlins and kick those sexist male baseball fans right off their high horses. Hard same. Patrick asks, will David Price pitch for us next year? Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a lot of things that are going to play into it. He chose to not pitch for the team because of the situation with COVID and the pandemic, and he wasn't sure how it was going to be handled. He reportedly showed up to summer camp a little bit just to check it out and see what's going on. Ultimately decided against it. Don't blame him for it whatsoever. So I think it's going to depend entirely on how things go over the next couple months. You hope things are going to go well in terms of COVID-19 and hope things are going to trend in the right direction. But also, we just don't know how things are going to go because none of them have. I mean, let's see. It was March. was like March 20th. We were like, this should last 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, that was last week, right?
And here we
March
are in what year are we in? 2023. I don't know how far we are into this thing, but like you just don't know. I think if the situation is good, obviously he's going to pitch for the team. I don't think there's any question about that. And I think that he is a big step up. I think that we missed him in 2020, but I think that he's going to be a big step up in 2021. Should he be a part of our starting rotation, which I believe he will be.
As long as he's around, he will definitely be in that starting rotation. Other news, I've already seen it mentioned in the stream a few times, and given that we are also a hard-hitting Padres podcast, whenever the Padres trolls are in the stream, thanks for hanging out with us as always. The Padres kind of trolled their fan base in a way. Like Ken Rosenthal, I guess, trolled everybody. Mike Clevinger, Mr. Sunshine himself, and the Padres agreed to a 2-year deal. And that was quickly followed with the news that Clev is undergoing Tommy John surgery, or Jimmy John as it's known these days around these parts.
It was, I just felt for the poor intern or social media guy
or Padres fans celebrating in the streets.
Yeah, I mean, it was like they just, I know that they just handed it to him over as one news press release, and they were like, get this out, on social media, whatever you have to do. And they were like, how do I navigate this? Because it's great news. 2 years, super cheap.
Yeah.
Cost nothing. And then god-awful news.
Also, he's not going to be here.
Also, you're going to miss the first year. And they're just like, what do I write? And they're like, well, let's start with the good news, I guess. I saw a funny comment. It was like, you didn't even give us ask us if we wanted the good news or the bad news first. That's tough, man. That's a tough thing to overcome for the Padres. You already look at their starting rotation. It's not very good as it is. You also look at their pitching staff as a whole. They're losing a lot of guys. They're not getting a lot of those guys back. Obviously, the offensive talent will always be there for the Padres as long as they have this current structure that they have. Yeah. So that's great. Although I do think you got your best year out of Will Myers. I don't think he's ever going to be better than that.
Yeah.
With that being said, that is a huge blow to a team that was really relying on Mike Clevinger to cement their staff. Not that he was going to necessarily be a number one starter type, but he was going to cement their staff and make them actual contenders. And I think this makes that a lot more difficult.
What's interesting, or what's tough, or what's update worthy or funny, however you want to take it. It's almost like pitching with an elbow issue is a bad idea.
Yeah, whenever you read those things about people having sore or injured elbows and then they go on to pitch 1 inning in a playoff game, you're kind of like, I don't think you should have done that. I don't think that was the best move for you there.
Roach says, imagine giving your elbow for 1 inning of a season that doesn't even count.
1 inning for a season that doesn't even count. According to Padres fans, 2020 did not count, by the way, after they got knocked out of the playoffs and then we won the World Series. Then it doesn't count.
But it counted when did they get anybody? They didn't get any awards, or did they get one?
They won the wild card.
No. Trent Grisham got the Gold Glove because he deserved it.
Oh yeah, big whiff on that one, boys.
Yeah, he totally deserved it.
GG's.
He didn't even have a good enough offensive season to deserve that. But yeah, I think a lot of us in that NLDS game 1 were kind of wondering about, why is this a smart idea for Clevinger? I mean, it's 1 start, but it's tough. It's a really tough situation because you need him to be able to do the winning sports. But were they too worried about trying to beat the Dodgers just to say they beat the Dodgers? So even if they lost in the NLCS, they can say whatever, at least we beat the Dodgers in advance. I think that was too much of a concern. They didn't see the bigger picture there, and the bigger picture is that absolutely he should not have been pitching in that game. And, it cost him major reconstructive surgery and a season and a good amount of money. So it's interesting. It's tough. It's a big loss for their rotation, like you were saying. They do have some other options to fill in, but none of them are Mike Clevinger. Noted number 4 starter, Mike Clevinger, if you're a friend of the show here. But funny enough, before this did happen, we got on the phone last week with former Padres superstar and LA Dodgers legend Adrian Gonzalez, and we did ask him about the Padres and just kind of his thoughts on where they're at, and he had noted that pitching is going to be one of their biggest, one of the most important points in getting good and setting up to beat the Dodgers. So here's a little bit of Agon BMC before Mike Clevinger. A bit of Agon talking about where the Padres are at in relation to the Dodgers and kind of some things moving forward.
And as far as the Padres moving forward, I mean, obviously they have Tatis, that's going to be, the rock of how they build their team. They got some other players. Obviously Machado's there and Hosmer are there, which are, really good guys to complement Tatis. I don't know what their catching situation is with the two catchers they acquired. But it comes down to pitching, and it comes down to, for a team like the Padres, it comes down to focusing on how to beat the Dodgers. And I know that teams don't want to say we're setting up our team to beat another team. We're setting up our team to be the best team possible. That's what they're going to say. But if they want to have success, they gotta be able to beat the Dodgers.
Right.
And so they have to get players that can not be intimidated by, first and foremost, the fans when they are back in, because the fans take over Petco. The fans, the players, the team. There seems to be that aura of you win a game and you think you think you did so much, when in reality it's just a game. I think they have a lot of talent. I think they have a good team, but they have to set a team to compete and be able to beat the Dodgers if they want to be able to win a division.
I love the idea of, I love, Gonzo did throw a burn on Grisham there, right? Them acting yeah. So let's go ahead and give him a round of applause, because that was smooth. It was very smooth for him, just kind of mix it in there. He didn't leave any pause for it to be very obvious. Very well done.
Subtle jabs
by Adrian Gonzalez. But I see, I've been kind of mixed on this, and we don't need to dig too much into this, because it's November 16th, and we don't need to worry about what the Padres are going to be come next season with whatever the hell ends up happening there. Do you agree with that sentiment of building a team to specifically beat the Dodgers?
I don't know. Ask the Clippers. I mean, that's what they're doing all the time.
He's already dead.
The Clippers built a team to defeat the Lakers. It wasn't to defeat anybody else in the West.
Hey,
they weren't going after anybody else.
Just that first game.
It was really great. Yeah, they crushed us. Good job. The Clippers built a team everybody knew the Lakers are the team to beat in the West, in all of the NBA. We got to build a team that can beat them. Unfortunately, they never got the chance to do that because they couldn't win. So when you're looking at the Padres, they are in a very specific circumstance where if the Dodgers were outside of their division, they probably wouldn't be building their team to beat the Dodgers. The Dodgers are the team to beat, not only in the National League, but in all of baseball. You look at the Dodgers and you're like, that's the team. And especially now, coming off of a World Series victory. We knew it before. After they got Mookie Betts, they were the team to beat. But now, after a World Series victory, they're absolutely the team to beat. Given that they're in the West, you have to go through the Dodgers to win the West. You have to go through the Dodgers to win the National League, really. And so I think if you are the Padres, you kind of have to build towards that.
Yeah.
If you're saying we want to win a division, you're not saying we want to beat the Giants, we want to beat the Rockies, we want to beat. You're saying specifically, we need to build a team that can beat the Dodgers. Obviously, you need to win a lot of games in between them to get there, and you only play a certain number of games against the Dodgers during the regular season. But with that in mind, I mean, it's tough to not look at it and say, how do we beat the Dodgers? If you can beat the Dodgers, you can beat any team. So yes and no, it is right, but it also isn't always right.
Yeah.
The Dodgers aren't always good. They have been for a long time, but they're not always good.
It took us a while. I mean, it's 8 straight division titles, but it took a while to get that far, and we're seeing a lot out of the Padres, or I'm seeing a lot out of the Padres of things that, the growing pains that the Dodgers did during that streak of 8 in a row.
Right.
There was a point where we were building to try to beat the Cardinals, and then we stopped playing the Cardinals and we couldn't get past the Mets. They tried to build to beat the cheating Astros when they lost to the Red Sox in 18. And then this year, it finally became, let's just put together a goddamn team that can win. And it worked. You know, it wasn't about, what does Blake Trinan do against this guy? I mean, Dodgers spent an offseason going and getting Scott Alexander just to specifically try to negate some of the Astros batters or the lefties or even like a Josh Reddick type. And then Alexander didn't do really much of anything in the 18 postseason. I mean, he was around, he was alive, I think, still. So, you know, they go and get Blake Trinan. They look at the numbers like, hey, this guy was really good. He's not good. Let's try to make him good again. They did. They made Blake Trinan great again, and it worked. And they got a title. So, you know, this time, I think it's still going to take the Padres a little bit longer. This Clevinger thing really throws them on their ass a little bit, which is funny. But the most important takeaway from all of this particular section of this Padres podcast is, haha, you got burned by Aegon Trent Grisham. So,
if we were a Padres podcast, we could call the podcast.
In other news, made that giveaway. Cody Bellinger authentic autographed baseball. Do I have like a I need to find that button. Let's do this.
In your face, sucker.
Well, and you know it's Cody Bellinger, so there he's confused.
He doesn't know what's happening.
We have the winner, and we're gonna let Brooke announce the winner's name because I think you had the most practice with this particular name. But we have a winner of our authentic autographed Cody Bellinger baseball through our friends and with our friends at Elite Sports Collectibles. They're a cool spot that you can do a bunch of raffles and all that kind of goodies. But who's that winner?
I always forget. Do I wait till it's over? Or
I have no idea.
I say it during it. The winner of the beautiful, what did they win? Cody Bellinger signed baseball from Elite Sports Collectible is, where I forgot what the name was. Syra? Are we going Syra? Syra Ochoa at Syra_Jade. If I'm saying her name wrong, I apologize. I'm not good at speaking in general, but if you want your prize, send us a DM on Instagram. We're going to send you one too. You got 48 hours to respond to claim your prize, courtesy of Elite Sports Collectibles. That's at Elite Sports Collectibles on Instagram. And you can get that Cody Bellinger ball right on your top shelf in time for the holidays because you get to show it off to your family that you can't see because everyone's shut down this year, so you're not going to be able to see them and be like, hey, look, guys, I want a Cody Bellinger ball.
You hold it up on the Zoom, but
that's
it's going to be back.
Zoom Christmas. There you go.
Zoomsmas?
Zoomsmas. Very Zoomsmas.
We'll all be having Zoomies. Next, the latest and greatest giveaway that we are doing with our friends at Elite Sports Collectibles is this autographed Julio Urias baseball. That's right. He captured all of our hearts when he punctuated that Dodgers World Series win with a 3-pitch strikeout of Willy Adames. That is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my lifetime that I could remember this year. But it was cool, and we're giving this away. So you have a week or until next Monday. The what day is that? I don't know what day that is. Thank you, Google. That is Monday. The 23rd. We will be announcing the winner of this Julio Urias baseball. I have to make sure to overdo it because people give me crap when I say Urias.
It's because you speak Spanish.
Muy poquito.
Yeah.
So go on to our Instagram. That is at Official Dodgers Nation. And make sure you are following at Elite Sports Collectibles on Instagram, or else you will not be eligible to win this baseball. You having problems there, Chief? I'll wait to change the screen until you gather your composure.
Action. You ever swallow an ice cube down your windpipe?
Can't say that I have.
Nope. Wouldn't recommend.
I'm gonna let you, now that you're dying, I'm gonna let you take the next the next lead.
It's a good podcast, guys.
I'll do it. Hey, so now as part of the news blast here, we have the News Blast Hall of Fame subsegment because there were eight names, something like that, added to the Hall of Fame registry at Target today. The important names are Dodgers legends Shane Victorino, and Dan I threw 88 Heron. Both of to break the glass. I thought I had a break glass here. They're not gonna make the Hall of Fame. That's an important note. They are not Hall of Famers. I know that's
They might visit the Hall of Fame.
yeah, they can go
Right.
to the Hall of Fame.
Go
Absolutely.
to Cooperstown and buy a ticket, get into the museum, look at where you could have been if you were a good ball player. But there's some former Dodgers all over that list.
Yeah,
Former. We got
Dodgers got around.
If you're looking at the list, we got all the guys who were past their prime, not in their good years. We got Jeff Kent. We got Manny Ramirez.
Jeffrey.
We got
was a beast.
Shane Victorino was never good. Then put some respect on that.
Cool Whip Special says Dan Heron is a Hall of Fame Twitter follow at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
Patrick Hughes just followed us. Thank you, Patrick
Thanks,
Hughes. We
Pat.
appreciate it. Caroline asked if you've ever inhaled chili flakes while eating pizza.
No, but have you ever inhaled some of the powder on top of tiramisu?
No.
Michael Scott has. Just here for the ride these days, guys.
Way to professionally do. We both derailed this segment, so I am proud of us.
We're really good at that.
The next part is inspired by the Hall of Fame, of which there are 2 Dodgers added that absolutely are unworthy and hopefully are one and done on the ballot.
Yeah.
We decided to have a News Blast Hall of Fame sub segment of where we assign, or we have our own cards, our own. Was it up to 10? You can have up to 10 check marks on your Hall of Fame ballots. So we made our own.
You're not going to like them.
You want to go first and explain yourself, or you want me?
I'll go first.
All right.
Yeah. Why not?
His Hall of Fame broke.
Look at my Hall of Fame ballot, guys. Look how beautiful it is. Look how amazing it is. Number one, first and foremost.
You got to go out to the side. There you go.
First and foremost, I did not realize that Bobby Abreu had as great of a career as he did. Not to mention the fact that he also stole 400 bases. Steroids era was a hell of a year. Hell of a time. I'm going to put Bobby Abreu on there. I will say this is the thinnest ballot I have ever seen. It was hard for me to make 10 votes. You don't have to, by the way. You don't have to. I just did. I felt like it was kind of necessary. Number 2, I think Barry Bonds absolutely by far is the single most deserving person on this entire list that needs to be in the Hall of Fame. And I know you guys hate that. I know he's a giant, and I know he did steroids, and I know there's so many things about it. Everybody did steroids during that period. I don't know what to tell you guys. Even if you take away the steroids, he's still like a 70 WAR player, probably.
Yeah. What he posted?
He posted a 162.8 WAR career. 162 WAR is ridiculous. You look at every single one of his numbers, and you're like, "Holy hell! Why did he take steroids? He didn't need to take steroids." I have a lot of bad opinions. You guys might think this is my worst one because obviously, we're Dodgers fans. We don't like seeing Barry Bonds or the Giants succeed, but it is what it is. Roger Clemens, I think, deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. The Rocket should be there. Todd Helton. Todd Helton's kind of a given for me. I don't know how Todd Helton was perceived throughout his career. I don't know if he was a good dude or a bad dude or not. But
good dude.
He seems to be a guy that needs to be in there. Andrew Jones, obviously, as Dodger fans, we have a bad taste in our mouth. But holy hell, if you look at his career before he came to LA, what a career. Scott Rowland, the model of consistency, a guy that you wouldn't know put up the numbers that he put up. Kurt Schilling, absolute D-bag as a human, awful person. But, can't really doubt it. Gary Sheffield, come on, man. It's the chef.
Yeah, Chef.
Chef deserves to be in there.
Chef is pretty damn good.
Sammy Sosa saved the game of baseball along with Mark McGwire, in addition to the fact that he's had like a bunch of home runs.
The big one is...
You can't really discount the home runs.
Big one is where you had on Nick Swisher.
Yeah, the Swish man. And then Wagner. I think Wagner's top 6 in saves all times for his career. Had ridiculous strikeout rate for a closer type.
He was a different kind of animal during that time.
He was quiet. He was like a quiet, really good ball player too. So you guys might not love my list, but are they going to hate yours more?
I don't know.
I hate yours already.
I wasn't paying attention.
You didn't pick Bobby Abreu.
I did not. Who picks Bobby Abreu? He played for the Angels for that amount of time, and he was only a short-time Dodger. Well, he was a Dodger for a little bit, right? I think. Bobby Abreu? Yes? No?
Yeah, he was for the same year that he was an Angel, I think.
Oof. So there's my list. And I looking at it, I realized I forgot to check Todd Helton on there because Helton absolutely very deserving. Helton posted a career WAR over 60, which and he would be the first. Wait, no, did Larry Walker make it? Larry Walker made it in the Hall of Fame, but he went in with just an HO. He went just a Hall of Fame hat on his head, right? He didn't go in as a Rocky.
I don't remember. No, I don't remember.
Even so, Helton is like the first real true. He's the OG Rocky, and I think that would be kind of cool. There is some BS that plays into how you make these, how you make out these cards. But yeah, Bonds is on there. Clemens is on there. Rocket absolutely deserves to be in there. Wins do mean something at some point in time, and they absolutely did then. Jeff Kent is in my Hall of Fame because he is the all-time. Because he's a cop, and he threatened he'd plant drugs on my person. But he's the all-time leading home run hitter for a second baseman in all of baseball history, and that should mean something. It's Hall of Fame worthy. Is what we're trying to say. I wanted to
put your microphone over there.
I wanted to be on camera. I did. It was working quite well. Oh. Andy Pettitte was very good throughout his career. He has 220 wins or something like that. He's pretty redonk. Let's see, 60 wins above replacement. He finished his career at 256 wins. Granted, he was on the Yankees, but he wasn't on those crazy Yankees that much where they went out and spent all of the money on everything. Like the early run of the Yankees being good, they built from within. They had the core four, and they were able to build from that. So I think that means something. If you're able to win 256 games in Major League Baseball, that means a whole lot. Schilling, bad person, terrible person, horrible human being, Hall of Famer. 71 wins above replacement, whatever. Oof. Sheffield, sorry, that was just I like Chef. He was
just the Chef, man.
Yeah, the Chef. I don't have Sosa on there. He can get in next year. Billy Wagner's on my list. Yeah, Tim Hudson had fantastic career.
He did, absolutely.
Not a Hall of Famer. Hall of very good.
Hall of very good. Omar Vizquel is a guy that I struggle to not put on the list, but also Omar's not a guy that blew you away with the bat. I mean, he was not the all-around guy.
He played 35 years.
He did
in major leagues.
He won
and he had 35 wins.
I don't know. He had 11 Gold Gloves or something, maybe more. I don't know.
That's when Gold Gloves were laid. Scott Rowland, one of the most underrated. He should have been. I don't think and he was not a first ballot. I think last year was his first time on the ballot. But Scott Rowland absolutely should be in the Hall of Fame.
That's a guy you don't know how good he was until you look at his stats, and you're like, oh my God, you were good for a long time too.
He was a model of consistency with the bat, one of the best to ever play third base. I think his numbers, his defensive numbers at the time of his retirement, comped with Brooks Robinson, who's was a good hitter, but is basically in the Hall of Fame for his glove and being fantastic. And it's a name we all know because of his glove. So Scott Rowland, fantastic baseball player. A lot of other good names. If they made a Hall of very good, there would be a lot more players in it. But that's my list. You can at me, Real FRG.
Mike Hoffer points out that Todd Helton was a career 345 hitter at Coors, 287 hitter on the road. But guess what? Career 287 hitter is still pretty close to Hall of Fame numbers.
If we're letting steroid users in, and if we're letting people already in the Hall of Fame that were tweaked out on greenies and everything else, then Todd Helton's PED was Coors Field. Humidor.
Pre-humidor.
That's just what it is. Them's the rules. I don't make them up. I just came up with them.
You do make them up.
I know. That's why I came up with it.
Right.
Let's get some people's thoughts on this, by the way. I see. Do we have a money one?
We do have a money
super
one
chat
for Kanan Cannon over on YouTube. Says thanks.
Thank you, Kanan Cannon.
Thanks, Kanan.
Kanan Cannon. Yeah, by the way, if you're on YouTube, if you feel like throwing any dollars or something our way, I don't know. It's weird. We started getting it during the pregame shows. Weird. We feel uncomfortable with it, but it does contribute to the beer fund if you super chat us. I'm not going to be like Trevor Bauer.
I'll take my shirt off if you want me to.
So Trevor Bauer, getting slightly ahead of ourselves. We were going to talk about Trevor Bauer. He won the NL Cy Young. Bauer did a live stream Our Bowers people did a live stream during the Cy Young announcement, and he's sitting there. He's away because he had to be in his dumb 3-piece gangster from New York in 1918 suit,
right?
Of which he had to have his agent tell him, you're supposed to put the tie behind the vest.
Yeah, it's a struggle.
He's not an adult.
I'm not a fancy boy.
He's not an adult. We get it, but their whole thing, this is all a long way around to get to the super chat thing. Their whole thing was like, we're not going to take your questions unless you send us money. It's like, bro, you're a big leaguer. And I mean, it wasn't him. It was like his marketing lady or whatever. And
Steve May on Facebook says beer fund. Steve
fund.
Gets it. Steve knows why we like money. We just want to drink. We're never going to make enough money off of this to live, guys. That's not, come on. We're not that good at what we do. But we can make enough money to drink beer on camera while we chat with you guys about baseball.
Yeah,
that's our favorite thing to do.
Like any money we make on other things ends up just going right back into buying new things for me to put in the desk or microphones or whatever.
Because it makes this noise.
I want to get one of those fancy Joe Rogan microphone arms, but Gary won't let me.
I want to buy Joe Rogan and have him come in here, but Gary won't let me.
Katie sent us $5 and said, "Where's Gary?"
I think it means Gary has to come back. She just paid for Gary.
Let's call Gary.
It's Gary's OnlyFans account. You got to get him to call in to the show.
We'll split that with Gary.
Money coming in. Juice Beers are on YouTube. Contributed $5 to the beer fund. All you got to do is ask for it, folks.
Man,
who knew?
Making me feel warm and tingly on the inside.
That's the beer fund.
So we appreciate all of you guys, even if you don't send us money. That's weird. We're not asking. I guess we're semi-asking, but not really. It was just inadvertent asking. I just thought it was funny to bring that up. Moving right along, Patrick Hughes asks, what's our best rumor about the Dodgers right now? Perfect timing, Patrick Hughes.
Patrick.
We have
money.
Now of the... no, he didn't send money.
No, money with timing. I'm sorry, Patrick.
We have the now of News Blast. We have the Warm Stove 2020 update sub-segment.
I like how you called it warm stove.
Yeah, it's a warm stove.
It's the warm stove.
Happening.
It's not hot.
Drew Smiley got paid way too much. Jose Rod threw $5 at us this next round on me. Thanks,
man, we could buy an 18-pack this week.
Dude, I know. We can need to well, it's going to be weird because we might not be in here, but
we'll have to send each other the money and split up and go to the store separately.
I'm going to Instacart the beer to my house.
There you go.
Yeah, Drew Smiley got a lot of money, $11 million. And that's now not from the Dodgers, obviously. He went to Atlanta, and you wonder, is this really going to set the market? Because he's not worth that much money. He's not very good. And there was a point where he was going to be maybe good,
right?
So it's a little weird. It's kind of weird. The big one, the big rumor. Well, I mean, have you seen anything on Arenado? Because I saw that we did have a comment earlier. Brandon on Twitter, at B Kaylee, whoever he is, appreciate the comment, and I've seen him in the stream, by the way. We appreciate also hanging out with us on the stream, Brandon. Asking, could we see a Dodgers Cubs trade? Because there have been, I guess this isn't Arenado, but there's been some people trying to link the Dodgers to Bryant, and there was something about Kyle Schwarber in there. As Cannon A on YouTube throws $5 at us for a 6-pack. We appreciate that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, the only thing I've really seen is people trying to forcibly link Lindor to LA, but I haven't seen any of the Bryant stuff. I haven't seen any of the Arenado stuff.
I think that both of those things have just been linked to the fact that what's the nicest way to say it? Justin Turner is battling Father Time. He's in a battle against him, and he's not going to win that battle. He's not young. He's not old. He's not LaTroy Hawkins old.
Yeah.
He's not Julio Franco old, but he's aging. He's getting there. His defense is on decline. His defense has been in decline for the past, what would you say, 3 years? Past 3 years is in a defensive
took a
spiral.
Huge step up during the postseason.
Absolutely, he did. He did some things to compensate for the fact that he's old and his arm doesn't work quite the way it used to. You notice somebody asked me, why does he hop the ball over to first so often? And I was like, well, that was a recommendation made by the infield. Ebo said, hey, you're not going to make it on the fly anymore, man. Why don't you take a step back, play off the line, and make it on a hop and get there just as quick?
Well, especially there on the turf. He was playing that turf tremendously. He played good. That so perfect, watching those hops. And that happens a lot. That's just a veteran understanding the situation and playing it to his advantage right there. So Notably, there will be no DH because I see Santiago talking about JT being like still a great bat. I mean, I think he's got another season of being, third spot worthy.
An effective bat. Very effective.
An effective bat. He's somebody, the power's gone. That's not really going to be his thing. But he's still somebody that can keep the line moving. And you don't always need a bopper there in that 3-hole. You need somebody that's going to get on base with something he can do. Maybe, that's somebody like Will Smith can eventually supplant him in that spot because Willie gets on base as soon as he can start hitting it hard, but not right at people.
He does hit it
hard.
hard.
Will Smith is going to be a fantastic, complete ball player that gets all of the recognition of the league. He's going to get JT Realmuto type of recognition by baseball. But because the batting average isn't pretty, he doesn't get that yet. But JT good.
It's just,
he's the right kind of guy to bring back, and I think he's a step up over somebody like Chris Bryant, who, granted, only had one bad year last year.
That's what Megan Ashley said over on Periscope. She said, I mean, Chris Bryant's not an upgrade over JT, and I would agree with that for a lot of reasons. Mm-hmm. Number one, I mean, the glove is, to me, very average. It's nothing special. It doesn't stand out. Defense, you're not necessarily always looking for defensive prowess at third base as a primary thing. You're mostly looking for a bat out of their third base position. Mostly, Chris Bryant hit at Wrigley, which is supposed to be a good stadium to hit at. Yeah. It's supposed to be. It's supposed to definitely play in the hitter's favor. You got those baskets out there. You got the wind blowing out. There's a lot of things that play into your favor out there. He not only did not hit well this year, he hit terribly. He was an awful player this year.
Really bad.
Add in the fact that they also went through that entire court battle just to get this extra year of him, and this is the extra year. It's really great, really funny. The irony there is just beautiful.
Way to go, Chicago.
If you're telling me that the reason why Chris Bryant were to come to LA, let's just say he did, was to replace Justin Turner, I would be mad about that. And that's not something that you can often say for a guy that's younger. Choice Fielder, friend of the show, friend of me, friend of us over on Twitter, he says Bryant's hard hit rate has declined year after year for his entire career. There is something to be said about hard hit rate. There is something to be said about hitting the ball hard in your life. Obviously, you don't hit the ball hard, but you have a really high batting average. You have a lot of luck. That's all that really is to that. There's not a lot more to it than that. But if you're telling me that Chris Bryant's the guy to supplant Justin Turner, and that's definitely not the case, that's not happening, that's not something that's about to happen, I would be upset by that. On the other hand, if you're telling me that Nolan Arenado is the guy to supplant him, I feel better about that. I don't know how you feel about that. I feel much better about that. Megan said JT is the glue that holds us all together, holds the whole team together. 100% agree with that. He does so much for LA, but I like what Aaron have to replace him.
I like what Aaron says. JT is an elder statesman who's still balling. Balling. I mean, he's balding too, but he's still balling.
It's a good point.
Ain't broke,
it's a good point.
Fix it.
It's not like he's a guy that you're like, we should keep him around because he's a good veteran presence, like Chase Utley did for that last year. Yeah, that was the only reason he was there. It was like, hey, he's a veteran presence. We owe it to him. He needs to be around. That's not the case with JT. The JT is still a very good player who, by the way, could be signed away by another team because he is still balling.
This is real. With Arenado, we've talked about this. I don't know if we've actually talked about it on the show as Katie throws $3.99 our way for Brooks Mustache Memorial Fund.
Oh, bless that mustache. 2020 to 2020.
We're remembering that glorious time.
I saw a picture of myself and I was like, and I was like, oh, that's me. Whew.
Me.
Scared myself.
Arenado would absolutely be a great addition to this team. Of course, he's Nolan Arenado. He's somebody who can bat, he can ball, he can defend. However, it's a weird situation because he's an all-time franchise player for the Colorado Rockies, and he's still somebody that's good, even not as good away from Colorado as it tends to be. But he's in an interesting situation because Colorado needs to get good value back from him. They can't just trade him away because they want to get rid of him, or he's mad, or he's due money, which is the situation with like Frankie Lindor or the situation with Chris Bryant. They want to get rid of him because they're trying to stay under a certain payroll. With Arenado, we've talked about it, where the big issue or the worry is he can opt out of his contract after this coming season, right? He could be a free agent after the 2021 season. So that plays a huge role for both sides. again, the Rockies need to be able to kind of cover their losses and get really good value. So they would need, let's say, Dustin May, Gavin Lux, maybe even another one, maybe somebody like one of the guys they got. Let's say Clayton Beater that the Dodgers signed this past. What are they called? Draft. That's what they're called. Yes. Sorry, I should have had draft. I should have had beer on the mind with all the beer fun that we're getting from people. We appreciate you again. So that's a lot of value. And I know somebody like SD Dodger Tim, noted prospect hugger, would have huge problems trading away Gavin Lux and May and somebody like a Beater for somebody that could be gone after a year. And that's the same situation with Frankie Lindor. Frankie Lindor is definitely a free agent after this coming year. So I don't know. How do you feel about that? Like, yeah, you have somebody that could be an added franchise player, but even on top of that, you got to worry about paying your other guys. You got to worry about paying if you're going to pay Bellinger. You got to worry about Seager, who's a free agent after next year. You got to worry about making sure Walker Buehler is around as long as Clayton Kershaw has been around. There's a lot of little intricacies to it.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that you said is that people still have to get paid, and that's something that we need to take under consideration for the foreseeable future, because there's a lot of young guys that are going to need to get a lot of money over the next couple of years. You look at Nolan Arenado, he is a guy who I think the Rockies are kind of not in a great position for a lot of reasons. Number one, he was very vocal about being unhappy about being in Colorado. Not about being in Colorado, but about the fact that Colorado was not competing. Yeah. That didn't just go away because they gave him money. That's still there, and that was amplified by the fact that they were just garbage.
I love that he complained about it, and then was like, "Ooh,"
and then took the money. They were like, "Hey, we suck. What the hell?" And they were like, "Here's a lot of money." And he's like, "Deal, I'll take it. Give me that opt out after the 2021 season, because I want to make sure that if you guys still suck, I'm going to opt the hell out of this contract." And so, if you're looking from Colorado's standpoint, in my mind, it is in Colorado's best interest to trade Nolan Arenado. Oh, yeah. Does that mean that he's going to the Dodgers? No, that does not mean that he's going to the Dodgers for a lot of reasons. Most importantly, the fact that he costs so much damn money, and that he's probably going to. I mean, I don't know. You hear the rumors that he wants to play in LA, that he wants to play near home. He's from Southern California. It would make sense on paper that he'd want to come and play for the Dodgers, who just won the World Series. Mm-hmm. All of that makes sense. With that in mind, you don't know what he's going to want to play, or where he's going to want to play, or what he's going to want to do. So there's just a lot of uncertainty to it. There's just too many question marks for me to say I'm okay committing prospects and the money that it takes to keep him for maybe 1 year, but maybe longer.
Let's say you were talented at anything.
I'm not, but yes.
I know, but at anything in your life, and a lot of different people wanted to give you money.
Right.
Would you shop your talents around if you were given that option? Like if you can be like, okay, I can be here for the rest of my life, or I could see what this place wants.
I'm always going to be open to offers.
Oh, crap. Yeah. Gary said help.
Better lock me down, Gary. I might be going over to, what's that site called? Rockies Nation. Rockies Nation. It's my next website.
Personal file.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I derailed on that. Yeah.
The Purple Heaven.
Purple Heaven. Just
we got a couple more donations to us that we got to shout out. Santiago, if you will, if you're nasty, gave us $10. Said only if you buy Tecate though, and I don't know if we might have to send $10 back.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you that $10 back.
He said just kidding. He said just kidding. We're fine. We can keep it. We'll buy Modelo to make you happy. That's a compromise, right?
Man, I love Modelo.
Oh, so good. So good.
Hey, we have all this. We can be classy. We might be able to get some Glass Pacifico.
Juice Nero's over on YouTube also with $2.99 for the JT Fund. Please send to Andrew Friedman. That's That's a good cause. We like that. I don't know how much $2.99 is going to do for it, but we'll let Andy know.
I'll text Andy real quick and be like, I think I have his number.
We have $3 should you decide to re-sign JT. Don't know how much it's going to help, but hey, every penny helps.
I don't know how to start that text message.
Andy, $2.99.
Hey, little Andy F. Here's $2.99 from Juice on
Just
YouTube.
Venmo it to him and don't say anything.
Oh man, this would be really, really wild. Tim is in the stream. I wasn't sure if he's in the stream. Tim says, I see some decline in Arenado. Pass on that money on the backside of 30. On the other side, the other end of it, we don't know what JT's going to be trying to get. You would hope he would kind of maybe look at getting some hometown discount, legacy money type thing. I don't know. It's that's another thing where it's kind of a weird situation where some people have the value of JT being really high, but at the same time, he's 36.
What does your body feel like at 36? Because at 27, it doesn't feel good.
At 35, it feels like absolute dog crap. Like not regular, absolute. Yeah. So you have to be drunk to survive. But I've seen some people agreeing to like saying, 2 years and $35 million sounds like a good deal. I was like, that sounds like a terrible deal. That's way
2
too
years,
much.
35?
Yeah, it's way too much money for JT.
Oh my God.
Like, I love you, Justin, but damn, bro, you're not getting that. What's your cap on a contract for him?
Man, I just see like a 2 or 3 year contract in his future. I think
going that far.
I do. Yeah, I really do. And I think if you look at how the Dodgers have treated their aging veterans in the past, they go with the team option. And that's a really common thing throughout Major League Baseball. The older you get, the more you're inclined to offer team options for years.
But those were complementary pieces to David Freese.
They were. They're not key pieces. And I think that's the biggest difference.
Yeah.
So you look at Chase Utley's last contract, it was 2 years. And he obviously didn't make it through that contract. But you look at Justin Turner, and if they were to offer him a 3-year contract, I think 2 of those years would be spent very well and very useful. And the 3rd year of that contract's kind of a toss-up. It could go either way. It could be a Chase Utley type of situation where he's kind of just aged out and not very good, or he could still be very effective. You don't know. So I think for that 3rd year, it's going to be a team option. Dude, I just do not see a situation where the Dodgers pay more than like $14 million a year for him in an annual average. I just don't see him getting that kind of number from anybody at this age.
Yeah.
Who needs an aging third baseman in a league in Major League Baseball when there's so much talent to be spread around?
Young Yi on YouTube says Adrian Beltre played until he was like 40. But yeah, that's Adrian Beltre. That's
Beltre, man.
That's a 90 win player.
He can still play.
Yeah, Beltre absolutely come out and throw up a better season than
Chris Bryant did.
This has been facts with Brook Me 3.
Thank you.
3-year, $21 million from Claudia. That's the thing. I mean, I think I cap at like 10 a year, and that's a lot. Maybe 10, and then it's those declining values or whatever. But you also can't really front load too much unless they really plan on going over the salary cap and then getting under it, and that's another whole can of worms where you can't go out and get somebody like Bryant or Lindor or Arenado because you're going to be way over it. But then you're going to stay there while we're losing some guys. Man, and I still got to be GM.
Keep in mind his last contract was a 4-year contract in which he was making an annual average of $16 million a year. He is absolutely in no way, shape, or form going to make more than that annually. There is no way that happens. So if he were to get, if the Dodgers were to give him $10 million a year annually for whatever the contract is, that would be a lot for them in that situation, especially if they're going 3 years with a team option. I think it's not over dramatic to say that they give him a 2-year, $18 million contract with a 3rd-year option for a team. That's not over dramatic.
I'm going 2 years, 18, 10, 8, and there will be a 3rd-year option, mutual, $6 million option, $2 million buyout. Boom, GM.
$2 million buyout. Dang, that's good. What a man. You could get paid $2 million and not play. What a life.
Some people get paid.
I wish I was good at anything.
Hella wild.
I wish I was good at anything.
The final bit of news blast before we get quickly into Frgm, because we are running long here, as tends to happen.
We often do.
Having fun. Today the Dodgers announced their Christmas drive-thru cash grab. Sorry, I just love that I called it a cash grab because that's exactly what it is. But whatever, we're all as our friend, I think it was Blister Rich or somebody on Twitter. If I got it wrong, I apologize. But Blister Rich is also a good follow. It's a cash grab, but we're all simps, so we'll probably go. It's running November 27th through December 24th. $55 a car to drive through some sort of weird
I'm busy that year.
winter wonderland at Frank McCourt's parking lot. Is this cool or an obvious cash grab to you?
I don't like to speak ill of the dead, but Frank McCourt is, definitely involved in this somehow. I personally, whatever you guys want to do, there are a lot of really good free drive-through light shows throughout that Los Angeles County, throughout the Inland Empire, throughout Riverside, all over there. There's a lot of them. There's Candy Cane Lane up in the valley. There's a lot of good places that you can go to look at lights.
Yeah.
If you want to pay $55 to drive through Dodger Stadium, I would rather you pay none and go get a COVID test and be safe and make sure that you're not spreading something. If that's what you're going to want to do, if you really want to go to Dodger Stadium, go there for that. But with that being said, if you guys want to go see a cool light show, maybe they'll have some sort of cool World Series related thing that we weren't expecting up there. Maybe. I don't know. There's going to be like a probably fake trophy that's there or something like that. I will not personally go to it. But I also said that I would not go to the Drive-In World Series because I thought it was lame, and it turns out a lot of people were like, it was actually really cool. Yeah, and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool for you. I didn't go.
It did look, as Megan says, the more lame than the Drive-In World Series thing. There you go. But a lot of people did seem really into that World Series, or the Drive-In thing. Honestly, I probably would have enjoyed the World Series win a little bit more had I been, at the drive-thru, because at least you're around people, I
got to high five my dog.
In Spanish.
In Spanish.
Tim saying obvious cash grab. One note
that I will probably go to.
I mean, let's be fair. I think we're gonna have to go. You and I have to go for content.
Oh, and film it.
Yeah, we'll do that. I know that sucks for you because that's like literally your life away from here. Is everything you're doing is being filmed. Hi, Mrs. Brook Me 3. But what somebody noted on Twitter that I really liked is that at least it helps pay for the free agents and the Corey extension. So it's your Michelada. This is your Micheladas.
This is my Michelada fund that I didn't get to take part in for 2020. That's a miss by the Dodgers, by the way. If they would have invited me to every game, I would have bought one every single game, and they would have been able to pay for Corey's contract already. I could have been the only fan, and I would just buy Micheladas.
These are all facts.
Somebody should make me the boss. I don't know.
I'm gonna text Andy again real quick.
Yeah. Tell him we're sending $3 and me.
I don't know how many proposals you have here in this final quickie or however long segment, whatever. We're all here. There's nothing better to do. It's Monday. We're having fun. I just finished my drink though, so that is a problem. But here's FRGM, and I'm guessing. So how are you rival GMs calling me? Can there be mystery teams?
No. So
how deep are we getting into this?
So in every different scenario,
not a role player.
In every different scenario, I'm going to be a different person. So I'll introduce that to you, let you know what I am. You're always FRGM.
You need hats. Then
I do need different hats. That's true. I'll just take mine off.
Will there be voices? Like
there will just be one voice. So in this particular situation,
those years of going and watching my ex do improv. Oh yeah.
In this particular situation, I am assistant general manager Jeff Kingston.
Wait,
Kingston, right?
Are we
Not
just
Sean Kingston.
Are we just role playing the current GMs? I want to be me.
No.
You
are
be,
the Dodgers GM. I'm role playing Jeff Kingston, who you now work over.
You're sick.
Yeah. So as Jeff Kingston, I come in and say, "We're in a strange situation there, FRGM." Your name is FRGM. By the way.
This is a spot on Kingston.
If you guys know Jeff Kingston, that's him. We can only re-sign Alex Wood for cheap. Real low on the money, or we could go all in for Blake Trinan and give him the bag. What would you prefer to do? That was a spot on Jeff Kingston, man. That was perfect.
Do I have to do a voice?
No, you're just you. You're FRGM.
I know, but now I'm wondering, no,
you're just FRGM.
Can I have a voice?
You can do whatever you want.
Top of the governor to you, Morton.
I was listening to that.
I'm definitely going Blake Trinan.
You're going to give Blake Trinan the bag over signing Alex Wood for cheap?
I would hope that my assistant general manager would come in with actual substantial numbers and not just the bag.
That's a legal definition. It's found in every law book. It says, quote, the bag. If you file for divorce in California, you get 50% of the bag.
Yeah.
That's in the dictionary.
State, we're aware.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, you're going to go for Blake Trinan.
Yeah.
As your assistant GM, I think that's the wrong answer, but I'm going to move on from here. I'm going to be assistant GM again for a second and say, you know what, FRGM, we got two guys after the season that are not going to be Dodgers anymore that I think we should re-sign. I want to know what we should offer to Clayton Kershaw and what we should offer specifically in numbers to Mr. Corey Seager. These are specific numbers, so I kind of put you on the spot. Sorry, FRGM.
The bag.
The bag.
Give him the bag.
Corey Seager gets the bag.
Apparently, that's just okay in my front office, and we're going to have conversations after this meeting, Mr. Kingston.
Mr. Jeff Kingston.
Mr. Jeff Kingston, I presume. Let's go to Corey first. I would hope that we can start working on a contract extension now. Corey Seager is about to turn 27. I think he's probably a 27 mil a year shortstop. He's not the most elite, and he's had some history of issues. Oh, okay. I read that wrong. I'm turning to my. I'm phoning a friend here in Santiago. It says $30 million a year.
I read that as 7 years, $30 million.
Yeah. I was like,
that's a hell of a discount.
That's not how it works. Seager's my priority. I think Kershaw will stay. I don't think he has much interest in exploring. Yeah. Because you can't go wild, and I don't think Corey likes the idea, despite that he's, like kind of a down home country, even though it's, East Coast boy. I don't think Corey likes the idea of being tied down forever, even though he's about to get married in like a week or like 2-3 weeks. Let's say 5 years on Corey.
Okay.
So if he's 27, so he'll be a free. No, you want to make him a free agent by 31. You can still 33. No, 32. You can still get paid. So I guess it'll have to be a 4-year with the 5th year option. Mm-hmm. Or instead, let's go 7 and an opt out at 4, and we're gonna give him 27 a year. Boom.
I didn't write any of that down. So if you remember,
you are so.
I am the worst assistant GM in history. Yeah.
As for Kershaw, I liked a comment, and you give Kershaw a stake in the organization. Kershaw shouldn't go anywhere unless he I don't think he's going to detonate this year. I think you just let him keep playing until he wants to not play anymore. We talked about this last week. Those guys on that Blue Heaven podcast talked about this last week where. Kershaw, we've seen it. We know Andrew Friedman's a friend of the show. Come on now,
he wears a shirt.
He's wearing our shirts. Kershaw, he's still enjoying it. He's kind of trending back up.
He won a World Series.
And he's a franchise icon, man. You can't let him go anywhere unless he really wants to go somewhere else, just to see if he can do it elsewhere. But I don't think knowing what this organization means, he's seen the way they take care of their people when it comes to like Sandy, when it comes to even Tommy, when it comes to Maury Wills, when it comes to Don Newcomb. I mean, you're a lifer when you're a Dodger. Even if you leave and come back, you're still a lifer. But you pay him what he wants. And I don't think he's going to want everything in the world.
Final question, and this does not come from Mr. Jeff Kingston. This comes from I am Nelson Cruz, and in this situation, the DH is a part of the 2021 season for the National League. As Mr. Nelson Cruz,
make this happen?
No. This is hypotheticals, and I'm Nelson Cruz in this situation. As Nelson Cruz, I say, Mr. FRGM, may I have a job? Oh, that's it?
Wait, that's it? Like, you just want...
I just want to know...
There's no monies involved? Would I sign Nelly Cruz?
Would you sign Nelly Cruz to a contract if the DH is a part of the plans for the National League in 2021? Because we still don't know officially if it is or not.
Well, we know Friedman, my friend, Andy Friedman, former GM of the Dodgers here.
Right.
The Dodgers' offseason goal, their look is for a right-handed batter and bullpen help. So I already fixed the bullpen with
the bag.
Bringing back Blake Trinan on the bag. How many years for the bag, by the way?
Many.
He's like a 32-year-old. We need to have a talk about this, mister.
I'm Nelson Cruz. I don't play a role in this. Talk to your assistant GM.
With Nelly Cruz, I think we have room. We have different options, and to have a designated hitter, or over being able to use that the way my manager Dave Roberts did last year, where it's an opportunity to rest people, an opportunity to get BD Eddie Rios in there to mix in Max Muncy and get him away from first base.
So I can't have a job, is what you're saying.
You cannot have a job on my team.
Just say no, man.
Sorry.
I got other teams interested. I got to go talk to them. Time is money.
Nelly.
What?
You're old, man.
Yeah, that's true. He's been around for a long time. Him and David Freese traded blows in the World Series, man. Don't forget about that. I mean, me and David Freese.
Yeah, over 1 billion years ago.
And there will be a Game 7.
Well, this has been a thing. Welcome to Improv Theater.
FRGM.
I used to have a Pope hat for that. Check it out. Happy Fun Time Sports.
Don't look at it.
Throwback Thursday. I might have said bad things back then. Well, guys, this was a show. thanks for hanging out. We appreciate y'all. Everybody that sent us money, you didn't have to do that, but we love you for it. That is really sweet of you. Kind of goes in line with something we've been kind of working on. So we're not, if something gets unveiled next week, it's not because of what you did.
But maybe.
Either way, we will be online. We are on the internet. Find us there, DodgersNation.com. It's an internet website that gives you all of the things about your Dodgers, as many as we can. In a day, you should go there. Click it many times. It helps also keep us alive. Subscribe to Blue Heaven. We are a podcast, iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio. All the spots at your podcast are available for free. We live there. Also, we would very much appreciate if you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're doing things there. Our boy, if you guys know our post-game guy, Doug McCain, he's putting out some fantastic, like really kick-ass content on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Dodgers Nation TV. Hit that notification bell. That's a bell. You'll be glad you did.
Yeah, then you'll know when we go live and you'll want to hear from us because obviously we're so entertaining. You want to hear from us every single day. You want to see me choke on ice. You want to see this guy play the fake GM. Guys, I'm at Brookme3.
Fans.
This guy over here is at Real FRGM or something like that.
That's my OnlyFans.
Yeah, we're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. We'll talk a lot. We sometimes don't talk at all. Depends on the week. We're at Dodgers Nation on Twitter, at Official Dodgers Nation on Instagram. Go check us out. Go check out Elite Sports Collectibles for that giveaway. You're going to want to win that Julio ball. Make sure you drop in there. Leave a comment for that because it's going to be great to have. It's going to be a great thing to show off around Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever it might be. Thank you guys for your questions. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for hanging out with us week after week. Thank you for those of you who pitched in and sent us some beer money. My goodness, we appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys next week with probably a lot more beer.
Bye.